Hey, it's been a while. So it's time to be okay, more than okay, to be sufficed, okay, to find fulfillment in being polarizing. We are no longer in the era of likability. We are in the era of authenticity. Pluto is no longer in Capricorn, though it will retrograde there. It won't last long being there. But that era, that was, sometimes Capricorn on the lower side, on the unevolved side, can be, look what I can do, look what I can create, look how hard I can work. Do you value this? Is this likable? Does this appease you? These accomplishments of mine, what I bring to the table, is it to your liking? And Aquarius on the evolved side, Pluto in Aquarius, and now, right, the North Node being in Pisces, the South Node being in Virgo. It is truly about authenticity. It is truly about that our wealth, our greatest fantasies and desires that we want to experience here in this material reality, that it will come, that it will arrive when we decide to spark in our authenticity, in the essence of who we really and truly are. And now this is applicable to everyone, but here's the thing. And this is something that I myself, confirmation, my nose is itching, okay? This is something that I just myself have recently began to grasp and accept, is that not everybody is meant to be this teacher, you could say, this leader, you could say, okay? We have different life experiences because we've got, on a soul level, different levels of experience as well, and purposes as well. And so you have to become okay now when you are that person, and I trust that this is reaching those people. When you're that person who is the teacher, is meant to be that teacher, especially, I have to tell you, if you have a North Node Virgo, if you are a North Node Virgo, if you are a Pisces rising, okay, if you are a Leo rising, if you are a Sagittarius, especially Sun, Moon, Mercury, okay, if you have these placements, you are most likely, okay, and Gemini as well, I hear, you are most likely meant to be this leader, this teacher, and to release this shame around being polarizing, the fear of, or the risking of relationships, and oh, how is this person going to take this? How are they going to respond? Will this connection continue? Because you're someone, I am someone who We lead with giving people space and grace. We give people the space to come with curiosity and inquiring and talking, communicating and sharing experiences, and a willingness and openness and a desire, an expressed desire to learn, to understand and expand in their capacity, in their knowing. And when you lead with that in connections and people, and this is coming through especially right now because of this eclipse that we just had, so this is clearing out. But when you lead with that space, when you lead with that grace, and people don't take up that space, they leave it, the opportunity to inquire and to be curious and to expand in their knowing. Okay, you are many times met, right? And I know you know, I know you know, but you're many times met, right, with having to then be the trigger. Some people need to be triggered to learn. And you have got to let go of likability and embrace being polarizing to some people. Because your authenticity is your true wealth. Your fortune rests there and will not move. And will not move. It rests there. And so, if I'm able to, maybe I'm not, but I wanted to show you these cards. I cannot flip around my camera, I guess, or I can't figure out how to. But I got a few cards out here, and this message came through so strong as I got these cards out. But I have the moon, which is Piscean energy here. There is a felt sense that we just have this Pisces lunar eclipse. There is a felt sense, an intuitive sense, okay, for when you are in these spaces, when you are in these environments, when you are around these certain people, you probably know before it even happens, long before or short before it even happens, that you end up having to trigger these people in order for them to learn something. But you feel it. And you continue with your grace. And you continue to give them that space to inquire, to be curious. And they choose not to. And it leads to this, them needing to be triggered in order to learn. And you've got to take your hands off of what happens after, what happens next. Because your teaching, your expression is not insulting. It is not demeaning. It is not a putting them down. It is a leading them back, actually, to, and they'll probably realize that at some point in their life and in their journey. But it's leading them back to this highest form of love. It's leading them back to the inner union so that they can, which is truth, by the way. The highest form of love is truth, and it says self-love here. But if you're not open to the truth, you're not really loving yourself. If you're not open to accountability, if you're not open to being curious and inquiring and learning and expanding, you're not really loving yourself. So truth is the highest form of love. But we are often leading folks back to love, what love really is. And it may be mistaken as, or labeled as, at that time, or down the line, that you're an angry person, that you're mean, that you're harsh, that you're too tough, that you raise your voice, your tone of voice too much when you're making a point. And you just have got to be okay with potentially cutting the cord. Because we are in the era of integrity and things are moving fast. Things are moving fast. And right now, you may be at this point where you've got to sit with that Nine of Wands. You've got to sit with what is truly the way forward. Is it that environment or with those people? Or is it elsewhere? This is in dating, love life. This is in personal relationships, work. And it's even in yourself, in your own habits, routines, and way of showing up on a daily basis. But do not walk on eggshells. Do not sacrifice being who you are, 11:11 on the timer. Don't sacrifice being, don't be ashamed or judge yourself for being this leader, this teacher. And it doesn't mean that you've got to talk off anyone's ear. That is not your responsibility. Continue to hold space and grace for people to be leading with in their expression. Curiosity. Inquiring. And if they don't, and it gets to that point where you've just got to trigger them in order for them to learn, you understand something, you're fulfilling your purpose. Because we're in a time now that it's about no longer instant gratification. It is about long-term stability. It is about efficiency in connections and environments and material resources and experiences. This is about legacy for the long term. Okay? So let this be a moment, a time where you may have had to do that recently with some people, and now you're at this kind of pause. You may have given them an ultimatum and said, now you know this. So, if we're to continue, I leave it to you and you're making the effort. Because I will not be the guru. I will not be the person who is overly reaching out, people pleasing. I'm not concerned with likability. And sit with that. Sit in that. Trust that. And let the right ones, the right environments come to you. Thank you for tuning in. See you soon.